I'm battery operated for 3 years. I'm like a handphone. So at night, I have to charge myself. So when I shower, I have to cover the controllers and the battery. I cannot get water in it. If not, I will die. After I had my youngest, 1 year later, I went to Switzerland. I think the long flight, and then I was up in the mountains. So when I flew back, I couldn't breathe and I couldn't lie down and sleep. And therefore, I went to the A&E, and that was when they found out that my heart is enlarged. I had water in my lungs, and then from there, they diagnosed me with end-stage heart failure. It's a condition that's called dilated cardiomyopathy, which is a disease that is affecting the muscles of the heart. The heart cannot function properly to pump blood into the rest of the organs. And therefore, I have symptoms like breathlessness, legs swollen, I cannot climb up the stairs, I become very weak.
So then how did you at the time tell your family?
I told them in a very weird way. So I have the same condition as Mama. That was what I told them. My mom is also a heart transplant patient. My mom also had dilated cardiomyopathy. So knowing myself having the same condition isn't a surprise to me. But I was surprised because when I was first diagnosed, I was already in the end stage. And medications didn't help me at all. And I needed the pump to keep me alive. For the next 3 years, I was living without a pulse or a heartbeat. So with that pump, it does the function of the heart and to pump blood into my livers and kidney and every other organ to keep me alive. If there was no heart transplant, that might be my permanent solution. But then again, I might also die because being on the pump, there are a lot of risks. You get bleeding because you are on blood thinning medicine. I had my fair share of bleeding that I collapsed, and I needed about 5 packs of blood to keep me alive. I also had fair share of having an infection because you have a wire sticking out of your body and it's a raw flesh skin. So I had infections, and you can die through having infection. I want to share my story today so that more people can understand the importance of blood donation. Someone's blood saved my life. Your blood can save many others, be it an emergency or when someone who needs a blood transfusion regularly.
How did your kids respond to your condition?
Earlier stages, they are not used to it. They are not accepting the fact that I'm on a pump. I'm very different from anybody out there. Starting, they would tell me, do not tell my teachers when you meet the parent-teacher session, do not tell anybody. But I think the turning point was when I won an award for Inspirational Patient Award, and they attended the award with me. And that was when they kind of looked at me in a different way, and slowly from there, they accepted, and they were proudly telling their friends that, hey, my mom's on TV, my mom's having the pump and she won an award. And they took pictures and they shared with their friends. And that was when they kind of like proudly tell their friends, yeah, my mom is just special. Yeah. With the pump, I was more active because I don't feel breathless anymore. So when you walk faster, your controller just increase speed lah. Yes, it's troublesome because you have to carry batteries and controllers, but that is the time where you just feel super energetic. When I travel, I have to definitely bring an extension plug because I have to charge my batteries. So when I go to the hotel, the first thing I look for is the toilet. To look at any other spot or shelf, and then when I shower, my battery and controller will not get wet. If I don't have that space, then yeah, whoever travels with me will have to suffer and can hold the pump for me as I shower. So it took me a while to get used to life being on the pump and living with it, until it came to a point I was so used to living with the pump, I didn't want the heart. I was so used to it. And going through a heart transplant, my thoughts was like, for someone to give me a heart means someone has to die.
Was there a situation when your battery was very low and you were still far from home?
I was out with my daughter, and when I was out with her in the train station, my controller just suddenly failed. So there was a loud alarm. It says controller failed, and I knew I was dying. And the moment I looked, I passed my phone to her, I just collapsed. So my children are all trained to call my transplant coordinator immediately to ask for help. And my transplant coordinator had to guide my daughter then to change my controller and batteries. Then at that period of time, she was only 11.
Do you remember the day of your surgery?
Yeah. I remember I woke up in the morning, my transplant coordinator texted me and say there is a heart available. And so I went to the hospital and then I looked at my coordinator and I said, so what now? And she said, yeah, you get ready. And then she looked at me and said, have you called your family member? I said, no, I don't know. She said, no, you need to start calling them and my kids are in school. So I said, no need. She said, no, you have to call them and tell them. Because let's put it this way, it might be the last call.
Have you talked about death with the family?
Yeah. I talked about death with my family every time. I do tell them what I want in my funeral. Tell them, like, for example, if I'm lying there and in a coma state, don't keep me alive, just let me go kind of stuff. Because I saw my mom went through heart transplant, I know it's not easy. So firstly, we are on blood thinning medicines on the pump. And imagine being on blood thinning medicine for 3 years, every day. So suddenly going to an operating room, you will definitely have to bleed. So I had about 15 packs of blood. And it's very normal, or rather it's very little. I do have friends who bled so much and they needed about 30, 35, 40 packs of blood when they go through the op. I have this friend that has this blood condition that's called beta thalassemia major. So she needs about 3 packs of blood in about every 2 to 3 weeks. So there was this occasion where there wasn't enough donors, there was not enough blood in the blood bank, and then she only had 2 packs of blood at that period of time, and it affected her quite a fair bit because she was very fatigued. It affected her daily lives. And so the blood transfusion for her is very important. I'm very thankful for those who have donated blood over the years because it not only saved my life, it also saved many others. It was only until I opened up my eyes and my family members came to me, took the phone, and then there in Straits Times says, 18-year-old nursing student donated her organs. And then they showed me like that and they say, open your eyes. And then they said, don't play, you got 18-year-old girl's heart. You better treasure the heart. I actually Googled her when I was in the hospital, after my heart transplant, in the high dependency ward. And I saw her funeral online. I cried. I think it just made me know how much she has sacrificed and how her dad decided to donate her organs, bless the people in Singapore, and then send her body back to Penang. I think ever since I took the heart, I became more daring. I learned cycling only recently, not long ago. I mean, I did things that I've never done before, really did things I've never done before. I think it's something, I think it just gave me that courage. Maybe the new heart just is more adventurous.